So we'll start with Raghu's son, and his name is Girish Raghunathan. He's still in middle school, no, elementary school. So he's by far our youngest student yet. Okay, and the first day I remember when he came, he was crying, and he didn't even want to be there, like somebody else I know here. I don't want to give names. So, but he has worked so hard. No, you never cried, John. But it was real fun working with them, and it was so nice to see that Girish actually dragged his parents out into the car to come to the class, second class onwards. And amongst all the children, I think he's the guy who did the maximum research on every single topic that he spoke on. And I think all the children will agree with that too. So it's been 4 months, snow, cold, rain, and well, there is no spring yet, but it was a lot of fun as long as it lasted. And I hope you enjoyed that. So Girish is going to speak about his visit to Kenya, okay? And at the end of it, if you don't want to catch a flight to Kenya today, shame on me. Right? Come on, all the best, buddy. Go. And really keep quiet, and as I said, take the phone calls outside if you must, and if anybody else comes, hi, call it. You can wait there. You can go out there, and then you can. Okay, you go. Come on, Girish, let's start.
Hello everybody, my name is Gurish Raghunathan. Today I'm talking about my safari Kenya trip in Africa. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know what you call a lion with a flower on its mane?
No.
A lion with a flower?
Lioness?
Lady in the little white shirt.
Flower thing?
The lady in the white shirt said flower mane, and that is incorrect. It is a dandelion. I'm talking all about day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. And on day 1, it was a rest day. I stayed at my mom's college friend's house in Nairobi, the capital of Kenya. In Nairobi, I slept there until it was day 2. Day 2, the journey began. My tour guide, Joe picked me up and drove me to Amboseli National Park. It is a safari place in Kenya. The main thing about the place was to see elephants. When I just got there, I rented a campsite and I slept there for about 20 to 30 minutes. Then our tour guide woke us up and we drove deeper into the forest. I first saw thousands and thousands of animals like zebras, elephants, buffaloes, wildebeests, and many more animals. In the safari, I went deep. I saw more animals. Do any of you know why I saw tons of animals?
Because it was a safari.
What?
Sorry, Girish, can you be a little louder, sweetie?
Do you know why I saw thousands and thousands of animals? The lady in the pink shirt, sweatshirt.
Because it was morning when you went there?
The lady said it was morning, but it was actually because it was the migration time. deeper, and I saw a mountain, and I saw a beautiful mountain. And do any of you know what the mountain was called?
Come on, guys.
Come on, next round.
Serengeti?
Kilimanjaro?
The gentleman said Kilimanjaro, and that is right. It was a snow-topped mountain, and on the foothills of Kilimanjaro there were a lot of elephants. And when I saw there was elephants trying to cross the road, and they made a really creepy sound. Like, so I think that they made a sound to make us move back. So it moved 20 feet for them to move away. And when we drove more deep in the forest, and I saw hyenas, and I think the hyenas were out of their den because they were trying to find food to eat. So I looked for any dead animals if there were there, but unfortunately I couldn't see any of them. And I went back to the campsite, and I slept there until it was day 3. And on day 3, I woke up and I went to Masai Mara. It was one of the best safari places in the world, and it was also one of the biggest. And when I got there, it was already the end of the day, so I stayed there for another day. And on that day, when I heard hyenas laughing, hee 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 hee, and lions roaring, roar, and I heard many more animal noises. And when it was day 4, I saw more animals. I went deeper into the forest in Masai Mara, and I first saw Masai warriors. And do you know why the warriors were wearing hot colors like red and orange?
Blend in with the different clans.
No, it was.
Want to repeat what he said, Brenda?
The gentleman said to blend in with different plants, and that was incorrect. It's to scare off animals, like if something tries to hurt them because they live in the forest. And after they taught me how to use a slingshot, and this was a slingshot I got from Kenya. You could hold it if you want. You can pass it around.
Cool.
And make sure you give it back to him.
And they taught me how to use an African slingshot, and they were really tall, they could jump really high, and they were really skinny but strong. They could take down a lion. And after I saw the Maasai warriors, I got to see animals. Like, I saw a pride of lions, and they hunted down 1,000-pound buffalo, and they ate the animal quickly because they didn't want scavengers like a hyena to eat the animal. So that's why they ate it quickly. I saw another pride of lions, and there was plenty of cubs and a mother lion and a dad lion, and they went under our under the safari van, so we had to stay still not to hurt them. Then I went back, and on the way back, I got to see a cheetah. Do you know how I could see the cheetah? Gentleman, it's sweatshirt.
Come on, Beta, get up and speak.
It was missing.
No, it's because it was spotted.
Oh.
And when I went back, I went to sleep in my campsite, and then it was the last day. It was day 5. It was day 4 that we slept there, and I saw a lot of scary noises. It was the scariest place it was the scariest safari I ever went to. And it was then I woke up and I slept and woke up and it was day 5. Day 5 was the last day of our journey. And when I was going, when I was going to my washer clearly, it took about a half day. And I went on the walking safari and the night safari. And do you know how Crater Lake was formed? Gentlemen in the
A landslide?
Repeat.
A landslide?
The gentleman said because of a landslide, but it was because a volcano erupted, and then one of the pieces of the rock might have hit the ground, and it formed a big crater, and then water poured inside it, and it made a crater lake. That's why it was the Niagara Crater Lake. And when I went deeper, then I had a better campsite than last time. It wasn't really deep in the forest. It was more outside of it. I went on the walking safari, and in the walking safari I saw millions of animals close by, like zebras, elephants, and wildebeest, and many more animals. And there was one buffalo that was lonely, and if there's a lonely buffalo, that means it could charge at you. So I hid under a bush. Our tour guide told us to hide under a bush, and after I hid under a bush and it went away, I went forward and I stepped on igneous rock. It was formed because there's mountains around the crater, and the rock might have hit it really hard, and one of the pieces of the rock might hit the mountains. And so I gotta take the igneous rock. I got to take the igneous rock home, and here you could pass it around.
That and the slingshot together will make
After the walking safari, I went on the night safari. And on the night safari, I saw tic-tics, I saw hippos, I saw lots of animals sleeping. And the animal that I really wanted to see was the leopard, but unfortunately I couldn't find the leopard. So after the night safari, my whole journey was done. I went back to India because I was doing a round trip. And let me summarize. I talked about Mosley National Park and Masai Mara, and also and I watched your Crater Lake. And I need to tell you an important message that when I went to Kenya, I got to see some the orphanage, and I saw one orphanage, and I saw plenty of kids in there, and they were only drinking muddy water. So then my whole Lego team donated life straws, and we got 70 life straws. We donated it to the people in Kenya because they needed to purify the water to drink it clear. You could use it for 5 years or 3. I don't know how much years you could use it for, but it's for drinking pure water out of a pond, like in Kenya, if you have no water, and you would purify it so you don't get sick from drinking that muddy water in Kenya. And after the life straw, do any of you have any questions or comments?
Thank you, buddy. Okay, here's a question. Okay, there's one question. Okay, we don't have too much time, so go ahead. You have a question?
Yes. See, you didn't get to see the leopard. I went to go back to Kenya to see the leopard again.
I don't know if I'm going
Repeat
back.
the question. What was the question?
The gentleman said, did you go back, are you going to go back to Kenya to see the leopard? But I don't know if I am going to go back to Kenya or not.
Introduce. Wrong. Girish, you are going to introduce. And who are you going to introduce now?
Arlie. Arlie is from Waltham, and she's one of the best students. And,
Oh.
and she's in high school. And Arlie, can you please come to the stand?
Thank you, Girish.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Aruhi Shah. First of all, can everyone hear me all right?
Yes.
Great. So today I'm going to be talking about my journey through Hindustani classical music. So first I'm going to talk about why and how I started this, as well as some early memories and stories I have. Then the pros and cons to how I've learned Hindustani classical music. A special moment I had about 4 months ago in India, as well as about passion in general. So let's get started. I started learning Hindustani classical music when I was 6 years old, about 10 years ago. I started learning because my name is Arohi, and it derives from the word Aroho, which means ascending in music. So my parents thought that why not put her in a musical program, and so she can learn, it can be like connected with her name. So luckily, I have my best friend whose father teaches music, and he learns music for a very, very long time. So 6 years old, I started learning with him on Tuesday nights at 8:30 at night. So when you're a kindergartner, you tend to get sleepy around this time. So I remember one time we were learning up to the notes ba, sa re ga ma ba. So when you're learning up to ba, when you learn notes in general, actually, you're supposed to repeat it over and over and over again. So that's what I was doing, and I was getting tired, so I was like, let me just close my eyes. I won't doze off or anything, and of course I did. But the thing is that I kept singing while I was sleeping. So apparently, when he told us to stop, I was still singing, and he's like, Arohi, what are you doing? Are you sleeping? And he's like, wow, you sing better in your sleep than you do when you're awake. So then, another thing is being an ABCD, American-born confused Desi, you don't pronounce T's and D's correctly all the time. So for the note H, can anyone guess how I was pronouncing it in the beginning? A young lady in the white dress?
Duh.
Duh, yes, that's correct. So I was pronouncing it duh. It took me a long time to figure out how to say it right. Another thing is that when you're singing, when you're younger, when you're supposed to sing higher, some children don't get the concept of high and loud. So as I was singing higher, I was ending up screaming. And so it's great to look back at these memories, and this has been part of my life for such a long time, and I look back and laugh at this. What I think was the greatest part about singing was that I got to do it with my best friend. So many times when I didn't practice or she didn't practice, we would call each other up and be like, hey, sing this for me really quick. Class starts in 45 minutes, let's go. And of course we had each other's backs, and it's something we could always talk about. What I didn't like, however, was having to wake up. So backtrack a little bit. Several years ago, I started learning from a teacher in Saudi Arabia over Skype. And because of the time difference, I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning in order to take her class. So this is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So when you're singing those high notes, many times I end up waking up my family. And on top of that, because I'm really tired, I'm yawning. So that's always a difficult part. But it's okay because my teacher wakes up from her nap at the same time, so we're both yawning. No big deal. So that's what I sometimes didn't like. So a few months ago, I stopped taking Gurukul. Actually, the local teacher that I learned from, her name is Gurukul, by the way. And I had to stop taking her classes because workload was getting kind of heavy from school, and it takes 45 minutes to drive there and 45 minutes back. So I was like, okay, I'll continue with my teacher in Skype, and it's okay, I'll just stop for now. And in India, about 4 months ago, I was at this really nice hotel in Bangalore called the Leela Hotel, and I saw a flute player and tabla player setting up. This was really late at night, so we were all really tired from walking around with my family. And something stopped me. I was like, okay, let me stay and listen. And of course, they started playing my favorite rag. I want to see if anyone here can guess what rag it is. So it starts with a B, and it's always the rag that you end with whenever you're performing anything. Does anyone know? Yes, gentleman in the white shirt?
Bhairavi.
Yes, so the gentleman in the white shirt said Bhairavi. That is my favorite rag. Now, one more. This one, it might be difficult, but there's this old movie, 1938 movie, called Street Singers, and there's a very famous song from there that is in Bhairavi. Does anyone know? Anyone? Barish uncle?
Oh. Okay, just for the record, I'm not that old. Yeah, but this song actually pretty much summarizes and epitomizes Rag Bhairavi, and the one is Nahi har chhoto hi jai. And is that the right answer?
Yes, that is the right answer. So that's, if you haven't heard it, then definitely look it up. It's a really great song. So back to my story. So I was just sitting there listening, and my family had gone up. They don't know this, by the way. They're learning this for the first time today. That I stayed there and listened, and I was like, music is really my passion. That's like the moment I realized that that was really my passion. It's something that identifies me. It's something that I can go to at the end of the day when I'm sad or something and make me feel better again. And I hope that everyone in life can find their passion like this. And if they haven't already, then there's always ways. Put yourself out there, learn, explore. You'll find it eventually. So this would be a good time if anyone has any questions. No? So thank you very much, and I hope that this inspires you to go out there and find your passion. Should I introduce them?
Yeah. Do you remember who you are doing? Right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
So next, it is my pleasure to introduce Azan Merchant. He simply adores the game of basketball, and he is very athletic. He is an 8th grader at Sharon Middle School, and he is on his way to high school. So good luck, Azan.
Alright, what was the spider doing on the computer? Anyone?
Spinning a web.
Making web.
Lady in the pink jacket.
Creating a website.
The lady said creating a website, and that is exactly correct.
Oh.
Good morning, my name is Azan Merchant, and I'm going to talk about the evolution of technology throughout the century. So before I officially begin, I want everyone to close their eyes. And I'm gonna say a word, and I want someone to say what they want to say, like right after I say the word. Ready? Set. Virus. What do people think about after I said that word?
Smallpox.
Uh,
A problem in a system.
The little kid said a problem in the system. Anyone else? Little lady.
A sickness that you can get.
She said a sickness that you can get. Lady with the person.
3 idiots.
Background. What?
3 idiots.
3 The lady said 3 idiots movie. Okay. And lady in the back corner.
a good one.
Something bad that affects my computer. My husband tells me not to download stuff because it'll get a virus.
She said something that you should not download the computer because then your husband will yell at you. These are all great suggestions. What I was aiming for was a computer one because a long time ago you would only recognize virus with like a disease or something. But now that term affects a computer as well. So let's just say what we're going to talk about today. What is technology? B, the wheel. C, popular technologies that have evolved throughout the century. And D, we have a question session. So let's start with A. What exactly is technology? Anyone know what the definition is? Anyone? The definition is simply the branch of knowledge that deals with the creation and the use of technical means with life, society, and the environment. Does anybody understand what I just said? No?
A lot of technical numbers.
That just came off dictionary.com, so let me just put it in simpler words. It's basically an invention that comes from scientific base, meaning that people just go look up scientific research and then create useful inventions to help the human race. Everyone understand now?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions so far? No? Let's go on to B, the wheel. Can anyone guess how old the oldest wheel is in this room? Sir?
Like 1700.
You said 1700. Anyone else?
I know the Wheel of Fortune is 30 years old.
He says the Wheel of Fortune is 30 years old. That is true, but not exactly what I'm aiming for.
In the caveman period?
She said the caveman period. Do you know exactly what time? Yeah. So the oldest wheel is 5,350 years old. And no one knows who the exact creator of the wheel is. There are so many people who have been making the wheel throughout the ages of time. But yeah, we know that it's 5,350 years old. So, any questions so far? And how many wheels do you see today? Think about it. It has evolved over the century. First, it was just made out of wood, and now you see it being made out of rubber and metal. So, I think we should move on from that segment because we are now officially done. Let's move on to C. Popular technologies that have evolved today. Anybody have an idea of some popular technology? Yes.
Apple.
He said Apple. Yes.
Microsoft.
He said Microsoft. Yes.
I was going to say an iPhone.
He said an iPhone. Yeah.
An iPad.
iPad. All things that I was thinking of today. Think about it. We have so many popular technologies that have evolved over this century. Today, for example, Apple, iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 4, iPhone 5. Now just you watch, there will be an iPhone 6. Another Apple product that's now evolving, iPads. iPad 1, 2, 3, and now there will be a 4. And let's think, anybody think of another evolved technology? All around. Yes, sir?
Xbox One.
Yes, sir says Xbox And that is exactly correct. Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One all evolved over the century. Yes, ma'am?
Smartphones.
Smartphones. Smartphones have also evolved. Phones in general. First, we used to have those flippy phones. We had to like flip the cover off. That took so much work. Then you had those like slide phones. They had to like slide the cover. Also exhausting. And you have to like, just like, it's perfect for texting at the time. And now, what you see today, we can like actually touch the touch screen. It's so amazing. Just to be sure you don't leave any fingerprints on it. So, yeah, even though use of the wheel, first we used it for like moving heavy objects like heavy boxes, and now we're using it for much more advanced things like cars, bikes, motorcycles. Wow, see how far we've come throughout the years? So, I think that's sort of the end of my speech. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question. What is your second most, not the most favorite, what is your second most favorite technology piece?
My second most favorite technology piece? That would probably be video games. I am a video gamer, that's my second favorite technology. Yes, sir?
Are you planning a career in technology?
He asked, am I planning a career in technology? Maybe. My dad is an engineer, and he does deal with some technology stuff, so maybe it's just in the family genes.
Other than yelling about viruses.
And then he said other than yelling about it.
Yeah.
You don't know. Yes?
A tech manufacturer?
A tech manufacturer, is that a question?
No.
Oh, that is what you are thinking of?
Oh, a tech manufacturer. Very evolved stuff. Alright. Anyone else? No? Thank you for coming to my speech. It was a pleasure talking to you. And goodbye.
Come on, do you prepare?
So it is now my pleasure to introduce a great woman who is on her iPad at the moment, and she is really loud, and she gives a great speech from time to time, and gives a great deal of information. Thambi, good luck.
Hi everybody, my name is Tanisha, and today I'm going to be talking about the people who really care for you. The people who can be a pain in the neck. The people who will always be there for you. Today I'm going to talk about family. Can everybody hear me first of all?
Yes.
Okay. Some of the things I'll be talking about today is what family does for you, what you can do for your family, the awesome opportunities that they give you, and some amazing moments that you can spend with them. Okay, so before I begin, I have a question for you guys. There was a girl, her name was January. Her mom had 4 kids, January, February, March, and what was the 4th one's name? What do you think was the 4th one's name? Young lady in the pink jacket? April. The young lady in the pink jacket said April, but sadly that is incorrect. It is what, since what was the 4th one's name. Get it?
Oh.
So, first I'm going to be talking about what family does for you. You know, there's so many things that your family does for you, and you may not even realize it. Such as, your mom probably cooks for you. Your dad probably helps you understand things that you can't understand. Your older siblings probably help you out in homework and things like that. And you may be wondering, what can your sibling who's like 2 years old do for you? Well, I'm talking here from experience. And I know that when I come home from school every day, my 2-year-old brother is just
waiting for me to come, waiting right outside the door, and as soon as I step through, he just jumps on me and gives me a ginormous hug. And it just feels so good, I just can't explain it. And when I'm sick, even though I'm worried for him that he'd get sick, he comes into my room and just gives me a hug and climbs up on my bed and jumps on me. And although it hurts when he jumps on me, it works more than any medicine I have ever heard. So now I'm done talking about what family does for you, but what can you do for your family? You know, there are so many other things that you can do for your family to make their life kind of easier. You know, you can put the placemats on the table so it's easier for your mom to put the food on. You can help your dad outside with some yard work so he's not the only one running around. And you can help an older sibling by doing some little chores for them or just asking them if they need help with anything. And for younger siblings, you can just play with them or teach them something new. Okay, now we're done talking about what you can do for your family. Now we're going to talk about the awesome opportunities that they give you. You know, there are so many opportunities out there that your family leads you to. Such as, I remember my family encouraged me to take dance lessons. And as I learned, we started to perform at different places, such as at my housewarming party in front of around 300 people, at the Norwood Diwali function, which was around 200 people, and in front of around 800 people at Big Help. And it just felt so good to have my family by my side. Even though I may have made a few mishaps here or there, maybe,